Hello, Shadow Burst Labradoodle puppy families. This is your week 1 litter update. And today's video will be a little bit of a roller coaster. We have some sad news to speak about, and then we will move on to happy news when we talk about an update for each of your puppies. We'll let you know who has made that first milestone of doubling their birth weight, and we'll also give you a little update about Mama Labradoodle Raven. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and this litter has 5 petite Australian Labradoodle puppies in it. We started with 6. We had one puppy who was born who was very small. He was very tiny. He wasn't breathing properly when he was born. So I gave him CPR and mouth to mouth and was able to get him to breathe. We nicknamed him Twinkle because he was just a little twinkle in our eye. We didn't know if Twinkle would survive. However, in the first 12 hours, he did spectacularly. He was able to nurse on his own, and he was, for the most part, maintaining his weight. He wasn't gaining on his own. And then he lost a couple of grams, so we supplemented him. So every 2 hours, we would get up and we would tube feed him to make sure his nutritional level was high. You can hear little red collar here making a fuss because he doesn't have a spot at the milk bar. So we would feed him, and he was doing quite nicely with his weight gains. And in between times, he would come back with the litter, and I don't think he nursed much unless we were here helping him, because he was so much smaller that the other puppies simply knocked him off. Now you can hear Red Collar is complaining, and that's because Anise does not have room for all 5 on one side. She only has 4 nipples that are working. So somebody has to go underneath, which requires a fair bit of strength, some problem-solving skills, and so forth. So little Twinkle was too small to have that strength or ability to be able to adjust to the milk bar. So that's why we were tube feeding him. And as I said, he was doing well with his weight gain. And we do depend on weight to tell us a lot of things about the puppies. However, it is just one indicator. Of course, we look at the puppies, their general condition. And as you know, it's really important for the puppies to be warm. The puppies are unable to control their own body temperature, and that's why they like to be close to mom or huddled up in a group together. Also, of course, we have the room turned up. It's 23 degrees in here. So it's important that the puppy is not wasting their energy because they're cold and they're not able to survive if they're cold. So we rely on touching them, making sure they're warm. We watch them. If they're all huddled up together really tightly, we know that they're probably chilly, so we turn the heat up. If they're all spread out all over the place with their all 4 legs out, we know they're likely too warm, and then we turn the heat down. So we want to make sure the temperature is just right so that Mama Labradoodle Raven here still wants to be having all her puppies around her, but we also don't want to have it so that the puppies are struggling because they are not warm enough. So that's another thing we look at. We also just look at their general demeanor. You can see, for instance, watching Red Collar Boy here as he tries to find a place, that he's quite able to be a mountain goat-a-doodle here. He's got lots of strength, and he's well able to negotiate to find a spot at the milk bar. And just because he doesn't have one right now is not detrimental at all. He will find one as soon as everyone shuffles off, or next time he'll get the prime spot. So he'll be totally fine. They do juggle around and rotate on their own. But little Twinkle was such a small little Labradoodle puppy, he wasn't able to compete with these dogs, and so that's why we were feeding him. However, after we had been feeding him and we were feeling really confident, he was gaining weight and everything seemed to be going well, when we would come in to check, we would always find him separate. He would be way away from the other puppies, and he was cold. Now, why did this happen? That's because Raven knew long before we did that Twinkle was not really going to be able to survive. So Raven intentionally removed him from the nest. And this is what dogs do. They know way more than we do. Their noses have so much power that they can sense all sorts of things. And that's why dogs can be used to detect cancer, seizures, and drugs, money, all sorts of things. It's all because their olfactory skills are just amazing. So clearly Raven was aware that Twinkle was going downhill, and she removed him from the rest of the group. And now, why do dogs do that? Well, they do that so the survival of the fittest, really, is they're implementing that theory in that she's making sure that the puppies who are well, who are robust, who do have a good chance at life, are the ones who are getting all the nourishment, and that the puppy who is not going to survive is not taking away from the healthy puppies. So we continue to feed little Twinkle. We had a special bed made for him. We have discs that we can put in the microwave. They heat up and they stay warm for 8 hours. And we have those in case we have a situation where we have to go to the vet and we have to take mom and the puppies, or we have to take a puppy into the vet, and they can be on this disc and stay warm. So we had Twinkle wrapped up in a towel on top of the disc and in front of the heater. But sadly, he did not survive. Raven was right. She knew there was something wrong. So now, what was wrong with Twinkle, and does that impact any of these puppies? It doesn't impact these puppies at all. Twinkle was simply a puppy who didn't develop properly in utero. So generally when we have a puppy who perishes at a very young age like that, it's because their lungs are not able to function properly. Puppies' lungs are really wet if they're born too soon. So now, why would Twinkle's lungs be wet and not the other puppies? When puppies are conceived, the semen is able to stay active. The sperm is alive in a girl for up to 7 days. So you can have an egg that is fertilized as much as a week after the other eggs are fertilized. And that will result in something happening like Twinkle. It was too soon for him to be born. His lungs were wet, and so therefore he was unable to breathe. And what happened really was he had pneumonia because he just couldn't keep the fluid out of his lungs. Now, how does that impact Raven? Raven was fine. She knew something was wrong, as I said. She removed him. She knew when he was gone. And we still have the little basket that Twinkle was in, and that lets Raven go and check it out and be sure that he's not there. Sorry. So she's done fine. She's such a good mom. She's doing great with everybody. And all the other puppies are perfectly healthy. These puppies will not be impacted by what happened to Twinkle at all. These puppies were all ready to be born, and they are thriving. So, how's Raven doing? Raven, as I said, is just an amazing mom. She's a great dog. She's looked after all the puppies really well. She has a good supply of milk. She's eating nicely. I would like it if she would eat a little bit more, but that's not what she wants to do. So again, I let the dogs guide me more than anything else, and I'm not going to force her to eat more than she wants to eat. That's where she's comfortable. The puppies are all doing well. You can see their coats are all beautiful and shiny. You can see that red collar boy there is a really good size. It's no secret that he is the biggest puppy in the litter, without any doubt. And Raven is such a peaceful mom. Usually when we have moms in here, somebody comes to the door or we're going in and out, the moms will bark and become excited, and we do everything we can to make sure that the traffic is minimized. So we built a courtyard outside to ensure that if people were coming that we weren't expecting, they are outside of the courtyard. They're not right here at the front door and disturbing moms. But Raven, nope, you could probably have a truckload of people come in, a busload of tourists could come, and she'd be totally fine. She'd be, oh, hi, here's my babies. Aren't they beautiful? And look at me, aren't I cute? She's just the happiest little girl. She's so calm, relaxed. Everything's fine. She just carries on. When we take her out for her bathroom breaks, she runs around. She does her little circus dog dance on her hind legs there. We have a new fountain feature in our courtyard. She just thinks that's the funnest thing in the world. It was designed to be dog friendly. So there is a little beach area. So in the summer, the puppies can, or the dogs can go in and lie down in there and cool off. And for now, if they wish, they can go and drink out of it. So the fountain was designed so that when the dogs drank out of it, it wouldn't run the water dry and burn the motor out. We've had that happen on DIY type fountains that we've had before. So this one is a professionally done one by Nanaimo Water Gardens, and so it was all built purposely and intentionally for dogs to use it. So Raven goes out, and there's 2 bowls, and she just loves to go and have a little drink out of the bowl on her way out and her way in. That's what's such a good girl. I love you. Oops, sorry. Oops. I was trying to give her a kiss and I just put my hand on her throat. Sorry, baby. Oh, how awful. Sorry, I was just trying to give you a kiss. So Raven's doing just really well. She's in really nice shape. She's not losing any coat. Her fur is just so luxurious, soft, and she's got a beautiful shine to her as well. So now what should you be thinking about as a family at this point? Well, now is when we want you to start thinking about getting your house ready for welcoming your new puppy. We want you to start thinking about, are there going to be areas in your house where the puppy is not going to be able to go? So for instance, if you have young kids and you can't really rely on them to remember to pick up everything, things that might potentially be dangerous for your puppy or things that are very cherished by your children, then that might be an area, your children's bedroom, where the door is closed and it's a no puppy zone. You also want to start getting in the habit yourself of taking your cell phone and not leaving it anywhere where your puppy can potentially pick it up. Cell phones, remote controls, those are all gold to puppies. These are things they love to chew on, as well as cords. So it's going to be important also to make sure that you're looking around and securing any of your electrical cords and keeping them away from the puppy. Same as plants. You want to pick up all your plants. You also want to start making decisions about, is your puppy coming on the Chesterfield with you or not? If the puppy's not coming on the Chesterfield with you, please be aware that you and anyone else interacting with the puppy will have to sit on the floor all the time. You cannot have the puppy in your lap on your furniture and expect your puppy to understand that they're not supposed to go on the furniture, right? When they're older, you can designate particular pieces of furniture as not being okay for them to go on. We do that in our house. But when they're puppies, they can't make those distinctions. So all of the families on this litter list, you will all get a video that goes through all of these decisions and information in more detail. Now, of course, your puppy starter kit is going to come into play here because you're going to have your X pen from your puppy starter kit that you're going to want to figure out where it's going to be located. If you need to use it to block off access to stairs, you're going to also want to figure out where you're going to place the donut bed for your puppy to rest in and things like that. The most important thing you want to sort out right now too is what door is the puppy going to use to go in and out of to go to the bathroom. That's key. One door consistently all the time, and then everything will sort of flow from that as to where you locate everything. You also want to think about where you're going to put the bowls that you get in your puppy starter kit in your house for when your puppy wants to eat. Somewhere that's nice and quiet, removed from any distractions, but still a place where you're going to be and where you will spend time with your puppy so that they're near you or you're near them, but you're not actually interacting with them when they eat. Oh, there's so many kisses. Thank you. I love you too. The other thing, and this is the fun thing, it's time to start thinking of a name for your puppy. This is a really fun thing to do with friends and family. Get everybody to get all their suggestions together, make a big list, put little stickies beside them, little dots as to who likes what name, which one ends up being the family favorite. And when you're looking for a name, something that has more than one syllable is always a really good choice, because then you can shorten it. So Raven's name, for instance, she has all sorts of nicknames, but mostly we call her Ray Ray, okay? Or Ravon, just as a sort of play on her name. So something where you can go, hey Ray Ray, let's go, you want to go outside? And then when you really want her attention, you can go Raven. And she'll pay attention, because she'll know, that means that I've got my whole name being used and I better pay attention because mommy's trying to tell me something. The other thing is find something unique. Try to stay away from the names that are super popular. Really popular names are Bailey, Sadie, Gracie, Lucy, things like that. You can see Pink Color Girl here really must have enjoyed her meal, because she's having to do her classic Labradoodle pose and get her tummy to hang out there. That's pretty funny. You can see though, this is a really good opportunity to see on Pink Color Girl. This is how much white all the puppies have. They will all have lots of white flash under the chin, on the chest, on the toes, as you can see here. When I'm holding them up when they're so young, you can't always see all of their markings. So when you have a name, the reason why you want to have one that's not perhaps the most common name is if you're at the park or the beach and it's time to go home, you want to call your dog, you don't want 14 other dogs coming. It's also easier for your dog if you have a name that's not the same as everyone else's. So in our house, we often have 10 dogs here at a time, and every single one of them, if you say their name, they know who they are. And of course, their names are all quite different. But if we had 3 Baileys, for instance, it would be very difficult for the dogs to, and for us to know who we were trying to actually talk to. And we might have a Bailey who was being really good and a Bailey who wasn't being quite so good. And then the Bailey who was being good would be like, what? I didn't do anything. So that's part of the thing to think about when you're choosing a name. Have lots of fun with it. Find something that's meaningful to you. Raven's name is, her full name is Haida Song of the Raven. I love you, sweetheart. She's a very affectionate girl, and that's because her Raven's guardian is Haida. And so we wanted to have something that honored her cultural traditions, and something that was a really good name and suited her. So she's black, the Raven is the trickster, and this little girl can be a trickster, and she's full of the same energy and personality that is associated with the Raven. And also in Haida lore, ravens are what brought they brought Haida into the world from the clam. So what a great segue for a girl who was bringing life into the world with her puppies. So that's how Raven got her name. Now I have a puppy on this in this litter that I'm hoping to retain, hopefully one of the females. And I'm trying to think of a name that is going to be also a Haida name and goes along with Raven. So we, Marion, who is Raven's guardian, and I are thinking through what would be a good name. Some Haida names are really hard to say and aren't a good selection for a dog's name. And that's something for you to keep in mind too. If you have kids, you don't want to have a name that's hard for people to pronounce. You don't want to have something that nobody can remember. You want your vet, your trainer, your groomer to remember, oh yeah, there you are, that's Claire and there's Raven. Easy to remember and keep those things together. Not some really phonetically complicated spelling or pronunciation where nobody can actually remember the dog. So that's all of our updates and info today. Now we're going to do the fun part. We're going to go through all of the puppies in birth order, and we're going to find out who has made that first milestone of doubling their birth weight. Now, why do we look for this milestone? That just tells us that the dog is healthy and doing really well and is able to get all they need at the milk bar. What if they don't make the milestone? When puppies are petite Labradoodles, I don't worry so much. As long as they have got that milestone accomplished by day 10, I'm happy. If they haven't doubled their birth weight by day 10, then I'm getting to be a little bit concerned, and I'm going to start to monitor very closely how they're doing at the milk bar and if Reynold and I need to supplement the puppy. So let's go through the kids in birth order here. And we're going to start with blue collar. Oopsie, I just have to change something on my app here. There we go. And blue collar boy. Where are you, Blue? You're Blue? Yes, I have the right puppy. Hello, little sweetheart. Here is little blue collar boy. And you can see there he's got a big yawn, lots of white on his chest. He's got that cute goatee, white little feet under his chin, and he's got that white on his nose as well. And Mr. Little Boy Blue here, hello Angel, he is 380 grams, and he has doubled his birth weight. What a good boy you are. Isn't he precious? He's just the cutest little thing. And then next we have red collar. So we go from a smaller puppy over to the big chunk in the litter. Now one thing you'll see is I'll always touch the puppies before I pick them up. They're sleeping, they can't hear me or see me, so I want them to know that I'm coming, something's happening, and for them to be comfortable and relaxed with me picking them up. Now this is our little chocolate tri boy. He's got all the flash in the litter. He's a very flashy looking boy there with his white markings. He has the most white out of everybody. He is the biggest puppy in the litter at the moment, and he is 520 grams. So he is really just ticking along very nicely and definitely has doubled his birth weight, plus a bit more. And you saw how vigorous he was there at the milk bar when he couldn't get his spot. Now, Raven, you're just sitting on your daughter there, so I'm just going to move you over a bit. There we go. Good girl. After red, we have pink color girl, our little upside down girl here. Hi, cutie pie. And here's pink. Pink is our black phantom. She is actually pretty much a mini mom. She has white on her face, her toes, white on her chest. And this little girl is 410 grams, and she did not double her birth weight, but she only missed it by, she is at 90%. So by tomorrow, I expect that she likely will have managed to double it or soon after. So I'm not in the least bit concerned about her. She is one of the smaller puppies, so it doesn't surprise me that she is not right up there. Now, one thing I do observe with her at the milk bar, she will be nursing away, and then she inevitably falls off the nipple, and then she often goes, oh, well, that's enough. So that is probably why she hasn't quite hit the target of doubling. Oh my goodness, poor Red. Did Mommy move? There we go. After pink, we have silver collar. Silver collar's over here. Hello, sweet handsome boy. Silver collar, very similar to pink. A black phantom, lots of white on the chest, the toes, and that really cute goatee. A little smidge of white at the top of the head, and then this little bit of a crooked streak going up the nose. Silver collar is 510 grams, and he has doubled his birth weight. That's a good boy. Next and last, we have orange collar girl. Orange collar girl has a couple of onlys in the litter. She is the only puppy with a wavy coat, so she's probably going to have curls when she gets older. She is the smallest puppy in the litter, and she also has not doubled her birth weight, but she's at 95% of her birth weight. So she probably will actually have doubled her birth weight by the end of the day. So she's doing quite nicely. You can see, despite being small, she has quite a big tummy there. She has a healthy sized tummy, and she's 370 grams. And oh, there's a big yawn for you. So that is all the puppies. That's their current weights. That's what's happening with everybody. I thank you so much for watching. If you have a moment, I'd really like to ask all of you just to leave a short comment on the video here. It really helps us so much. It helps us continue to be able to make these videos for you, and we do hope that you enjoy them. Please ask any questions or just make a comment, whatever you like, and a thumbs up would always be great too. And if you really like us, we really hope you subscribe to our channel and click that bell icon so you get notified whenever we release a new video. And we'll see you all again next week for our week 2 update, and thank you so much for watching. So many kisses. So many kisses. I love you.